Who's gonna do it? Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna fly up high and do it. Yep. What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today. We are solo tripping it, and we ended up here to try to avoid a lot of the rain that was coming my direction. So drove several hours this morning. We got a job to do. We got to find some fish, then we got to catch some fish, take you guys along for the ride. Immediately upon launching, I saw millions and millions of mayfly casings or dead mayflies on top of the water. Generally not ideal situation, but I'm sure we'll find something to catch today. So everything's gone from like early summer to summer, like boom, like in a week it seems like here, at least kind of where I've been fishing across the Midwest. And that a lot of times throws fish a little bit different locations. So we got to drive around, we got to see some fish, we got to find some fish, and then we got to catch some fish. And you guys got to put up with my subpar editing skills in comparison to Mitchell's camera work, but we'll make it happen today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this channel, if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe. I appreciate it. You guys allowing me to do my job, and it means the world to me. So let's blast off, make it happen, catch some walleyes. All right, first thing to do, a lot of times you can kind of visualize a fish movement, right? If you have, we're on a pretty decent sized lake today, obviously, but if you have a big lake with like one big bay that's like a lot shallower with water coming in there, you can assume that like that is probably springtime apparatus, right? Then as the season goes on, you have this this migration of fish pushing out closer to the deeper, bigger basin, and generally moving a little bit deeper as they do that. And a lot of times in this kind of period where you're not really in full-blown summer, but you're not really in like that late spring time frame or early summer anymore, you fish kind of the midpoint structures, right? Any kind of big funnel, any kind of point complex, or it's kind of the first thing spreading out of that shallower area to the bigger area. And that's what we're gonna look at. And we're gonna start looking at a whole bunch of side imaging, seeing what we can see. All right, we're starting to really see what we like here. Stuff like this. This is walleyes. Not gonna be crazy big ones when they're all lumped up like that, but if I can see some individual singles, we'll be in business. We're starting to see it now. A lot of sand on this lake. Some of this other like black shadowing is actual balls of like bait fish fry, which is good to see life here. Alrighty, got to get everything rocking and rolling. One nice part about not having Mitch with is he doesn't have to tell me, put the troll motor down. All right, pick it up, put it down again. Whenever he gets his fancy shots, I got to be his little stage actor and put all the stuff down and pick it back up. Do a cast, do the cast slower so I can get it. Do the cast at a different angle. I just get to do whatever I want to do today. And it might not be as pretty, but we will catch the fish. Still always get questions on our live mount. This is the TKI CNC Mega Live Mount. Been running these for a couple years now. They're absolutely indestructible, rock solid, no flex type of units. And I always link them in the description below. But bait wise, whenever I get to a new lake or somewhere I'm not really sure what's going on, first thing I do is generally fish something hard and fast and aggressive. If fish are 5 feet down, I can catch them there. In 20 feet of water, if fish are 20 feet down and 35 feet of water, I can catch them there. So baits that I can hunt the water column with. And in the summer, a big piece of lead, like a shiver minnow, and a 5/8 Kalen search bait is pretty much gonna fit that mold nicely. Hello, buddy. Yep, right there. number one. He ate it up off the bottom. All right, well that didn't take too long. So long we thought that these kind of big glide baits were baits you fished on the bottom of the lake. Couldn't be farther from the truth. I ended up fishing them a lot more off the bottom, up over the top of fish. And it's a very triggering way to fish. Not a big walleye here. We'll take them though to get the day going. Come here, buddy. This is the same shiver minnow I had on from the other day, which is a purple goby, I believe it's called. You guys know me. I love my purples. All right. Well, there's our first sign of what is going on. Let's get you off, buddy. Swatting it up off the bottom. We'll catch them like that all day long if they let us do that, because that is like my absolute favorite way to fish right there. Nice summer walleye for being on the lake for about 10 minutes. Can't complain at all. Beautiful right there, my friend. Let's do that again. We gotta hunt a bigger one though. There is a lot of, in my experience, kind of like cookie cutter fish on this lake. But if we could put a few like mid-20s in the boat possibly, that'd be cool. We might have to do a little more hunting around for those though. Big stack. Big stack of walleyes. Yep, right there. Man, did he come out of it, huh? Had to dance it over him for a little bit though. A lot of times you see a stack like that, you put a bait on it and it's just like immediate. They'll bite it on the way down. But could be something to do with this mayfly stuff going on. Nice walleye here. It's always a little dicey losing fish on these baits. It's just kind of the nature of the bait, but a nice walleye right there. We'll take them like that, huh, man? It's probably a 20-inch fish right there. You guys are letting me fish how I want to fish. I like that a lot. I appreciate it. Oh, let's get him. Look at that. Beauties, my friends. And it is a beautiful walleye looking day, isn't it? The rain has been insane. You guys have no idea how many times I've planned to go somewhere. Is the mic still working? Plan to go somewhere and then they get like 5 inches of rain. I was on possibly the craziest big fish walleye bite I had ever seen all summer or all year so far. And the body of water came up like 4 or 5 feet and everything turned to chocolate milk. So I was a little bit bummed yesterday sitting at home thinking about what I'm gonna film, because sometimes you just get in this rut where you wanna film what you wanna film. You don't wanna film what the fish are doing everywhere. So that's kind of the battle sometimes, but I'm sure we'll film that some other time. And we're having plenty of fun so far today. Now, one thing I like to do with these shiver minnows, glide baits are just by nature not a great hookup percentage bait. So anything you can do to hook up better or lose less fish is obviously a win. And a lot of the shiver minnows you're gonna buy are gonna come with like the hook hanger that looks like this, where it's kind of just a loop with the hook on there. And one thing that happens is, number one, I think the hook's a little too small, but it'll bite and like that in there, where it'll try to pull out of fish because that thing doesn't have a whole lot of play in it sitting on that standard hook hanger. Now, if you want to land more fish and hook up to more fish on these baits, it's a pretty simple fix. The first thing I'll do is you could just take and open up this little wire loop a little bit, slide that original hook off of there, right? Then I go up a hook size to like a number 6 or a wide gap 8 with a split ring on it. Take that hook, put it on there on the split ring, slide it on there like that, and close up this loop again. And it's a 30-second fix. That's gonna let you land a lot more fish. Now this hook has a lot more swing to it. I'm gonna lose less fish. And with that little bit bigger hook, I'm gonna hook up on a lot more fish. So just one simple thing you can do on these baits that's gonna let you land a lot more fish. Yep, that one did it. Had to work them a little bit, my friends. Feeling all right though, feeling all right. Don't tempt me with a good time fishing like this, because I am all about it. He is just barely hooked in the corner there. Not a big one, but hey, for the first spot on a lake I've never fished in the summer, catching fish. How can you complain? I've spent a lot of time ice fishing this lake. I've actually never fished here in the middle of summer before, and we are catching them. They do get bigger than this though, so maybe we'll make a move around, but to be honest with you, I don't really care. The goal was to come out, fish fast, and hopefully make something happen, and to not get rained on too much. And we have achieved objective. So I get about a million questions on how my boat is rigged up, what I all have going on up here in the bow, and might as well take a quick second and kind of talk about this setup. This has been my favorite kind of office space in which I've had yet, and we'll show you guys kind of what is going on here. So I obviously have two graphs up here. The top one I run for forward facing a lot. The bottom one I will run in a split screen of side imaging and my mapping on top. I also have this one connected to another live pole over here. Now, if you want to get real crazy, I'm going to do like a bunch of basin type scoping where it's just covering a ton of water, looking for fish, no structure. One thing you can do is obviously put both boosters down, point them in slightly different directions, and kind of cover a larger slice of the pie at a time. Or one thing I noticed too is that if you're fishing with a buddy, it's a lot more fun if they have one to cast at as well. So it's not just, if you're the one looking down the pole or off the trolling motor, it's a lot more easy for you to kind of line that cast up and distance up than it is the guy that's standing behind you, right? So I thought that would be kind of cool thing to do as well. Now, talking about kind of how I have this set up here for side imaging, and the reason I like this so much is because a lot of times, like, we're going down a big sand flat right now. There's very minimal structure here, and a lot of people think like forward facing is like the one stop all, oh, you don't need any other kinds of sonar if you have a forward facing, right? Not true at all. It's all about how you can get the most information at one time to kind of be the most efficient. So as I kind of cruise down this here, we'll see if we see anything on side imaging, we'll see if we see anything on forward facing, and kind of show you guys. So as I cruise down this big flat here, panning around on live, obviously I don't see anything right there. Side imaging, there is a school of walleyes. Hopefully you guys can see it right here. That is what we want to see right there. So all right, I didn't pick those up on forward facing because they're way kind of off my back left, but now I know, like, all right, I can literally just swing around here, and what you are going to see here, and they might not be very far away from me by the time I swing around here, you're gonna see that same school right there. So it kind of gives me, and there's a real big stack of them out in here, out there a ways. So it's all about how much kind of information you can feed in at one time, take it all in, see the most amount of water possible. Now, I don't always run side imaging. If I know kind of like I'm just fishing a real small spot and it's like put into it and I know kind of right where the fish should be, then I'll just spot lock down a lot of times and run, you know, just the forward facing. But having side imaging in a situation like this where I'm fishing a big flat and I'm like, oh, there's three there, whip the boat, use the side imaging to find the fish, put the forward facing on them, and then make that very specific cast to catch them. So this has been the favorite way in which I have had one of my boats rigged up so far. Yeah, right there. Man, one of them hit it once. Spot number 2, producing walleyes on the first pod. Like an alright fish. I actually stuck one and lost them in that school. But a lot of times if you keep that bait in there, you will get bit again. Nice fish here, nice fish here. Come here, buddy. We'll take them, we'll take them. They are healthy. They are healthy. There is just mats of mayflies, dead mayflies floating around everywhere on the surface. Likely why they want the more aggressive bait, for sure. And look what they're pooping out all over my boat. Hopefully my head cam's on. Orange and gray goo. Mayfly goo from last night's gorging. Look at that. Beautiful fish though. I mean, we're catching them, man. It's a pattern. Kind of the same depth range. What are we sitting in here? Yeah, 20 feet, 22, 23 feet of water. Fish on some of these flats leading out to basin. We'll take it, man. We're just catching a ton of them. See you later, buddy. Go gorge yourself or go take a mid-morning nap after your feast last night. This is day-old mayfly bug garbage all over my boat now. That is a nice school of walleyes right there. Who's gonna do it? Oh, you're gonna do it. You're gonna fly up high and do it. Yep. Too easy, man. Fastest way to catch a walleye. Heavy lead bait. Find them on side imaging. Put a bait right on top of their head. If you got forward facing, if not, you can obviously just pitch it right at side imaging too, or on sonar when you get fish in this deeper water. Rip the bait up over their head and make them come up and bite it. It's about as simple as it gets, and as fun as it gets. A lot more fun than back trolling or dragging a Lindy rig, huh? You also can cover a lot more water, a lot more quickly fishing this way. I did catch a couple, I think, on the natural kind of brown goby color, but 99% of them coming on old purple grape or purple goby, whatever it's called. I'll link the bait down below if anybody wants to scoop some up. Come here, bud. Let's get you popped off. There we go. Tons of eaters. Now, if you're gonna go for big fish, I would go either probably a little deeper, look over basin, but we're having too much fun just pounding tons of these today. Tough to beat. Main reason I did this little road trip was to get away from all of the rain, which was plaguing me where I was trying to go. Well, guys, I don't even know what else to say. Fished 4 times it now. It is 9 a.m. Fished for an hour and a half, caught a pile of walleyes, way more than can be included in one video. A lot of the same kind of similar sized fish, but this pattern dang near works everywhere you're gonna go in the summer. A lot of times you get out on some of the deeper structures in the lake, bigger flats. Today we were fishing some just like tapering points and flats kind of leading out to basin areas, and this is a pretty typical type of summer thing. Find these fish in these spots, use a lot of side imaging or down imaging, whatever you're gonna use. Get something like a shiver minnow on, search bait on, baits where you can work a water column, get to a fish very quickly. A lot of times baits that take a longer time to get to fish are not great for this kind of situation because it's just too labored. By the time you get down to fish, they might be moving around, it's all slow. So a lot of times these fast moving baits really have a place at this time of year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one. Hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed some of the tips that, based on my experience, seem to help me out. I appreciate you guys watching this channel. We got a whole bunch of new stuff on walleye now over the course of the last couple weeks. How walleyes relate to weeds. What's the other one I just filmed yesterday? Holy cow. Kind of some bug hatch secrets that you can use to catch more fish if you're dealing with big mayfly hatches like this. And yeah, hopefully you guys are having an awesome summer on the water. So I appreciate you guys watching. We got some cool stuff coming in the future if this weather ever lets up. And we'll see you you guys on the next one.